Have you ever wondered why everything seems harder right before your biggest breakthrough? Sometimes, the season that feels like God has gone silent is actually the season when He is preparing you for something greater. You may be closer to your breakthrough than you realize. One of the first signs is that God begins removing things you thought you could not live without. Certain relationships may suddenly change. Doors you desperately wanted may close. Plans you carefully built may fall apart without warning. At first, it can feel like rejection. But sometimes God closes a door because He can see what you cannot see. Proverbs 3 verse 5-6 reminds us to trust in the Lord instead of depending completely on our own understanding. What feels like a setback today may become the protection you thank God for tomorrow. Another sign is that your priorities begin to change. Things that once consumed your attention may suddenly lose their power over you. You may find yourself wanting more time with God and less time chasing approval from people. Your heart begins craving peace instead of popularity. You start caring more about who you are becoming than how you appear to others. That change may not happen overnight. But when God prepares you for a new season, He often changes your heart before He changes your circumstances. A third sign is that your faith is being tested in unexpected ways. You pray, but the answer does not come immediately. You believe, but the situation seems to get worse. You keep trusting, even when you have no visible evidence that anything is changing. This can feel confusing. But faith becomes strongest when it has to stand without seeing the outcome. James 1 teaches that the testing of your faith produces endurance. God may be developing in you the strength required to carry the blessing you have been asking Him to release. Another powerful sign is that you become uncomfortable staying where you used to be comfortable. The old routine no longer satisfies you. The old mindset no longer feels right. The old habits begin to feel heavy. Something inside you keeps saying, there has to be more. That restlessness does not always mean you need to run somewhere new. Sometimes it means God is inviting you to grow. Think about a seed buried beneath the soil. From the outside, nothing appears to be happening. But underneath the surface, something is breaking open. The seed has to leave what is familiar before it can become what it was created to be. Your hidden season may be doing the same thing in you. Another sign before breakthrough is that you begin noticing small answers to prayers you almost forgot you prayed. Maybe it is one unexpected opportunity. Maybe it is a conversation that arrives at exactly the right moment. Maybe it is peace during a situation that once terrified you. Maybe it is simply the strength to keep going when you thought you had nothing left. Not every breakthrough arrives like a dramatic miracle. Sometimes God starts with a small movement that eventually changes everything. Do not despise small beginnings. Zechariah 4 verse 10 reminds us not to despise the day of small things. Your breakthrough may already be moving, even if it does not look impressive yet. There is also a moment when God teaches you to stop forcing what He has not opened. You stop begging people to choose you. You stop chasing doors that keep closing. You stop trying to control every outcome. Instead, you begin saying, Lord, if this is not for me, give me the courage to let it go. That prayer requires tremendous trust, because sometimes surrender feels like losing. But surrender to God is not defeat. It is placing your future into hands that can see beyond your present circumstances. And perhaps the deepest sign is this. You begin experiencing peace before the answer arrives. The problem may still exist. The money may still be tight. The relationship may still be uncertain. The opportunity may still be missing. Yet somehow, your heart becomes quieter. You cannot explain it. You simply know that God is with you. Philippians 4 verse 7 speaks about the peace of God that surpasses human understanding. That kind of peace does not always come after the storm. Sometimes God gives it to you while the storm is still raging. So if you are currently in a season where everything feels uncertain, do not assume that God has forgotten you. Your waiting season may be preparing you for your next assignment. Your closed door may be protecting your future. Your struggle may be strengthening your faith. Your loneliness may be teaching you to recognize God's presence. Your delay may be developing patience that your next season will require. And your tears may be watering something you cannot see yet. Do not quit simply because you cannot see the finish line. God has never needed you to see the entire road before asking you to take the next step. Keep praying. Keep obeying. Keep trusting. Keep becoming the person God is calling you to be. Because the same God who carried you through your darkest season is fully capable of leading you into your brightest one. Your story is not finished. What feels like an ending may only be the beginning of a chapter you never imagined. So lift your eyes again. Take the next step again. Trust God again. And when the breakthrough finally comes, you may look back and realize that God was working long before you could see the evidence. If this message encouraged you, subscribe for more biblical encouragement, and remember this today. God's silence does not mean his absence, and your waiting does not mean your story is over.